Explain to our audience exactly why we are here.
Yeah, the Punta Gorda City Council has made it illegal through the sign ordinance, through the what's that group that regulates businesses? Well, anyway, through a sign ordinance, any word they don't like, which is they just went through a list of things that are sexually explicit or not popular to be heard in public. Any of those things can be ticketed. If you got them on a hat, a sign, or written down. They're even talking about making a new ordinance that it can be anything handwritten.
So why did the officer that was standing over there that illegally arrested Carolina News or Carolina Cop Watch, what's his handle?
I'm not sure.
His name is Steven.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But why did that officer illegally arrest that one man, and all he did to us so far is just shoot us a bird?
Well, they because we're in a group.
Oh, so that person's coming.
11th Circuit Court. Yeah, because we're in a group and they have orders come down from the city council. If you're in a group, they won't ticket you because we're, in their words, considered protesters, which really means that we can afford an attorney, so they don't want to get sued.
I understand that, but don't they already have a pretty hard case against them for this ordinance?
Yes, they do.
And someone they illegally arrested.
Yeah, they have several people that they ticketed here, and one man by the name of Andrew Sheets is a local man here. He was arrested while, I don't know, violating one of their ordinances here or something other. I know what it was. He was protesting on a public sidewalk in front of the school.
And they arrested him.
Well, they pushed him, they actually physically shoved him off the sidewalk.
Into the roadway.
Into the roadway and into his car, basically physically shoved him to his car, which...
Wasn't it into oncoming traffic?
No, it wasn't oncoming traffic, but there was traffic in the area. Though.
Okay,
So it could have been, had the grace of God that it had not been an oncoming car, he probably would have been hit.
Probably would have been hit.
Yeah.
And that's our officers that say they're looking out for our public safety.
Oh, public safety, but it's all about officer safety.
When we know that officer safety is cowardice and public safety is heroism.
Yeah. But
So
anyway...
they were willing to throw that man in front of the bus because of their damn feelings.
Literally. Yeah.
Understood.
But anyway, we're here trying to assert our First Amendment right in an act of public disobedience.
What do you mean trying?
Well, we are. Actually, we're out here. They know we're here, and they have orders not to ticket us or harass us.
Well, let me ask you this. One of our group stepped onto the grass over there, and some guy in a clown suit with a little piece of metal and wearing a gun told him to get off the grass. Now, I see other people walking on the grass out there.
Yeah, that man is paid right now, probably being hired and paid for by this venue.
So you're saying that anybody can hire a man with a gun to back up what they say?
Yeah, you can hire a police officer.
I don't. How do we know it's a police officer? Because I asked him, if you're an officer, would you please identify yourself?
Yeah.
And he just was silent as crickets.
So I suppose that he's not going to identify himself. He doesn't feel like he doesn't have to be accountable to we the people.
Do you feel that he may be ashamed of his livelihood?
That's a good likelihood, because I've seen many police officers around this area here, and I show them the sign and I'll do this symbol to them like this right here, and they can't make eye contact with me.
That's because they're ashamed of their job.
Because I believe a lot of them are ashamed of their job.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, it's all about collecting the paycheck. And even if they had to march a few people into a furnace, into a gas chamber, into a furnace.
Well, that's because they were told to, though.
Oh yeah,
don't they have an option to disobey an order if they feel it to be illegal?
Yes, they do. But the thing of it is, they will probably get sanctioned and probably be looking for another job.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd rather be a sanctioned American than another American wannabe that violates people's rights. Is it true, Dr. Shawn Berry, that you took an oath?
Twice, yeah. I
Took an oath twice.
Yes.
You were in the United States Army, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was in the National Guard and the Army, as were you. You also took that very same oath.
Yes, I did. Did they any time between the time you took that oath and now, have you ever been told that that oath has been rescinded?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm still under that very same oath.
So I see you carrying a sign there that says Punta Gorda, fucking First Amendment.
Yes, sir.
This sign is illegal. Call the police at 941-639-4111.
Yes.
Are
this
you
sign-
trying to say that with this sign that you are actually upholding the oath that you took in one form or another?
I am. Right now I'm engaged in a First Amendment activity.
A constitutionally protected
A constitutionally protected
activity?
Yes, sir. And I'm also engaged in a civil disobedience right now.
I understand that, civil disobedience.
Yeah.
I understand that it's a constitutionally protected right. And we both understand that one of the people that did this was arrested
Yes, he
and
was.
thrown into jail, incarcerated.
He also has over 15 tickets in this very city here, and he has a lien on his house.
A lien against his
A lien against his
homestead
house
that he lives in,
for $15,000.
where him and his family live,
Yes, he
because of this bullshit law that was made up by an idiot.
Yes. Well, made up by a council of idiots.
A council of idiots.
Council of idiots, yes.
Well, that's even worse. I
Yeah.
mean, you hear the saying that out of the mouths of many come wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't see that happening here.
No, actually, right now there are two major law firms, the ACLU and I believe the Rutherford Institute are engaged in a civil class action law.
There's the cop right there that made the illegal arrest. That pig right there.
Well, given the opportunity, he'll do it again.
Well,
In fact,
I'm
it's
giving him the
probably-
opportunity. I'm holding a flag that says fuck Biden, and I don't see him doing anything. So
Well,
apparently that's more of a feelings law than a law.
Well, yeah, what it is, they're afraid to give a ticket to anybody. Now, they are under orders. Anybody in a group, then that the group is protesting. But we have a right to assemble, even if it's one person, to assemble and redress. So an individual, especially a local, who does the very same thing we're doing now, will get a ticket.
I see. Well, that doesn't seem very fair, does it?
It doesn't seem like it's the 14th Amendment. All laws are not being applied equally.
I agree with
They're
that.
only being applied to certain people, and other people are being allowed to.
There's a Karen, and I mean a Darren.
Yeah. Certain people are being charged under this law, and certain people are being given a pass.
So-
being turned a blind eye, so to say.
So they're selectively enforcing this ordinance that these, for lack of a better word, morons came up with at their leisure. So that 14th Amendment of the Constitution really doesn't apply to them, does it?
Well, none of the laws apparently apply to them. If they have authority, which they
Why do they have authority?
Because we gave the authority to them.
Why in the world would we give authority to such tyrants, Dr. Shawn?
Well, under the social contract, we all live under. We want law and order in our society.
Okay.
So we give certain individuals power to govern us, and this governance should come with a public trust.
So
We
you're
trust
saying that we gave people that we voted into office the power to keep the laws in our society,
And we entrusted them with
and we entrusted them with that, and they're diligently rubbing dirt all over it. They're diligently breaking
Why
it.
don't they fucking impeach him like they impeached Trump?
They
Come
should.
back, ma'am. Let's hear what you got to
They
say.
should. They
Yeah, I
should.
gotta go.
I won't film you if you don't want to be on film, darling.
Well, you have a great day. God bless you.
You have a good day, ma'am. We had another patriot over there that wants that idiot in the oral office out, like a bunch of Americans
we have
do.
many patriots, as we have many people who want to live under authoritarianism.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah.
I really particularly do not like having my rights constricted. There's not that many of them left, and those that are left seem to be selectively given.
Yeah,
I got news for them.
Selectively given and selectively taken away.
And selectively taken away. But you know what? They are not the ones that gave me these
No,
rights.
they're all God-given rights.
These rights are given to us by God.
And our public trust was, under the Constitution, was supposed to be entrusted not to violate those rights.
Correct. Now, if we have to abide by the law, how come they do not abide by the Constitution or the law?
Well, apparently it's as in the wild, whenever you don't have law and order, which is we haven't had law and order, proper law and order in our society, in our government for a while. They're operating under the wild, the animalistic. I'm bigger than you are. I have more teeth than you do.
And I got a gun.
And I've got a gun. So I'm bigger than you are, and I can beat you. So therefore, I'm the right one.
Not only can they shoot you, kill you, beat you, throw you in a cage, but they get away with it scot-free, whether they're right or wrong.
When they're violating the very same right they're ticketing or citing you for.
Well, now, I've seen one of the undercover black-looking SUVs that belong to the police department in Punta Gorda, and it was a very dark gray or blackish colored vehicle. And if I'm not mistaken, you saw it also?
Yeah, they paint their vehicles in that manner so they try to hide themselves, as a thief would do. You know, a thief tries to conceal
As a thief
themselves.
would do, understood. So that black tint they got on the window that you can't see through there, is that legal?
No, it isn't, no. Unless you have a doctor's prescription for a medical condition.
Well, if they've got a
that is
medical
illegal.
condition, how can they be a police officer?
Because presumably, and we can assume that they don't have such conditions, they are just taking advantage of the fact that they are, again, this law of the wild, or I'm an officer, I'm bigger than you are, and I can do what I want to and get away with it.
So earlier we were talking about ticketing individuals in a group and singleized people. So one person walking will get a ticket, whereas a group, they're scared of a group because there may be some financing behind that group. So that means you just said, in other words, that if I have a lot of money, I can do whatever I want to do where the law's concerned.
Pretty much that's why we're in Punta Gorda here, which is a very wealthy city.
Yes, it
and
is.
a very wealthy county. Yeah. So if you have money in Punta Gorda, you're probably not going to be prosecuted under this law.
Well, do you think rich people use the word fuck, or do you think they
I'm
use
sure.
intercourse?
I'm sure they use it.
Intercourse is what we're doing now. I'm having verbal intercourse with you.
Yes. And this right here is exactly what the county is doing to our First Amendment.
Fucking them.
They're breaking them.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And,
Dr. Shawn, I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and as I say, they will only ticket individuals here. They're operating under orders, which they already know the lawsuits are coming down for the city. That several of the large firms already have the First Amendment 1983 Civil Rights Act.
Are you at liberty to tell us how many lawsuits do you know are in the works at this present
I
time?
personally know 3.
Of 3.
Yeah,
And-
but the 3 lawsuits, that is a single incident. Like I said, the one individual here, the local individual I know of, who has $15,000, has at least 10, if not more. So each one is an individual lawsuit.
So he is probably going to be filing some more federal lawsuits against the town of Punta Gorda because of the behavior of their police department and their city council.
Yeah, and if we can look at $100,000 per lawsuit, that's at least $1 million worth of lawsuits. Right
Well,
there.
I'm sure that the citizens don't mind paying that.
Oh, they're wealthy; they can afford it.
They can afford it, but
Yeah.
that's not the point. Do they mind paying it? Apparently not. They voted that council.
There's going to be money that's going to come out of schools, out of community centers. It's going to come out of the pockets of some of the politicians, you know.
And we do not want to do that to the people.
And we do not want to do that to the people.
Sometimes you have to wake them up.
Sometimes you have to wake them up. That was
Yeah.
Gio's words verbatim.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
that's why we're out here today. We're trying to assert our First Amendment rights today.
Well, I appreciate you giving me this interview, Dr. Shawn Berry. I know you've got a YouTube channel out there. Would you care to put a quarter in for it to plug it?
Yeah, it's a Dr. Shawn Berry. You tap it in, I'll come right up. So
There you go. So Dr. Shawn Berry, that's his YouTube channel. And then of course we have Geo,
it's XXGOX. It's on the sign.
and his channel is on the bottom left of the sign right here. It's XXGOX. Feel free to link yourself up with it. Subscribe, share.